Confronting our thoughts, fully facing tough emotions, and affirming ourselves can be difficult. Can Emily Soo find it within herself to squash her worry and woe? The Curious Case of the Two Emily Soos, written by Dr. Drew Palacio. If you'd like to have a signed copy of this book, check the description at the bottom of this video for more information. On a block full of crows lived one Emily Soo, who presently didn't quite know what to do. She was anxious to go to a party at 4, but choosing her outfit was proving a chore. She had rummaged through closets and hampers and drawers, strewing leggings and jeggings in piles galore. She tried on each outfit, first once and then twice, yet whatever she wore, she thought, "These don't look nice." With a sigh, she went pacing before a large mirror. "Ugh, I'm hideous, and I hate everything here." She shrugged and she stamped as the crows outside cawed, all seeming to mock her with hearty guffaws. Red-faced, she peered into the mirror's pale glare, and flustered and blustered, and she tugged at her hair. Despite all her efforts, it just wasn't right. She felt she looked odd in the autumn sun's light. With a huff and a puff at the imperfect view, she gritted her teeth and she snatched up her shoe, which she hurled at the mirror with one mighty thwack. And as Emily's face shattered, as the glass cracked. "Finally, try the smock top and leggings and boots with square tips," said a voice that echoed with a low, crackling fizz. Emily jumped, but she was all alone. Yet the voice murmured still in an unearthly tone. Placing hand to the mirror, she peered at the glass, and her own cracked reflection returned a loud laugh. Emily gasped and stumbled and fell to the floor, but this prompted her double to laugh all the more. Who? The glass girl interrupted at that, teasing Emily, who stared, her face fallen flat. Yes, Emily quivered, but just who are you? Why, I'm Emily, or rather, Emily too. Now get up, get a grip, and pull yourself together. The clothes that I picked are just right for this weather, unless you would rather go just as you're dressed. Though right now, to be frank, you look like a hot mess. This glass girl was loud and emboldened and brash, and the mirror's cracks ran through her face like a gash. And yet Emily took to heart what she said. The thought of her friend's judgment filled her with dread. "You're weird, but right maybe," she quietly muttered, as she pulled on the clothing, her heart still a-flutter. "Well, duh! Now get going!" the fractured femme spat. Emily hurried out without thanking the brat. The party was fun, every new game was grand. Emily soon forgot how her worries began. Until she came home, then she couldn't quite stop going over the evening. Had she been a flop? "Absolutely," spat two when Em opened the door. "All your jokes were so cliché, your stories a bore." Emily hung her head as she entered her room, while two, who kept talking, snickered in the gloom. Emily's stomach knotted, she wanted to rest, but her double's loud chatter kept her much too stressed. "And you call that a dance? Ha! You should have done better. Stacy really outdid you with her heels and sweater." Emily tossed and turned, and she pawed at her bed. The reflection just laughed and mocked louder instead. Emily shut her eyes, and she started to weep. For the rest of the night, she quite rarely found sleep. And what sleep she was given was frightful at best. Her dreams seemed to scheme and afforded no rest. In a wood full of shadows and brambles and stones, she met two faceless figures, each on a dark throne. At her left hand sat Worry, all dressed in bright red. He spat fingernails, jittered and mouthed words of dread. To her right sat grim Woe, slumping, dressed in cobalt, his face stone as he chastised himself for his faults. But as Emily looked to escape this strange land, the rogues rose with a start, each extending a hand. "Care to dance?" the pair offered. She felt her heart sink. "No, thank you," she stuttered, confused, trying to think. "But of course, we don't mind. We don't get many takers, although we're incredible movers and shakers." "I'm sure, but no thanks. It's me and not you. Though it's true you remind me of Emily too." "Too? Bah! She's a faker. She always makes trouble. We give her an inch and she only wants double." "I don't know what that means. Tell me, why won't she go?" This was Emily's chance. Maybe these two would know. "You invite her, delight her," the blue-clad wraith said. "She speaks nonsense about you. She gets in your head." "And when she speaks loudly," said Worry, "you've run, or you've sat there and borne it. That's part of her fun." Emily listened. The odd pair were right. She had given in easily, without a fight. She wondered about her own blunders, and two, but the colourful rogues had for her one more clue. "One more word," said the pair, "though there's her and there's you. Is it right to call this glass girl Emily too? And now we've done our parts, rid yourself from our number." And Emily woke suddenly from her slumber. But the moment she rose, the brief peace she'd found shattered. Two still wasn't through, and continued her chatter. Her rude names and cruel blames might have led some to shrink, but now Emily frowned. She just needed to think. She hopped straight to her feet and, on listening instead, tried to quiet the riot that swarmed in her head. She marched to the mirror, ignoring the cries. Her mentors weren't clueless. Two only told lies. She took a deep breath and she tried to stay calm, though her sweat ran in wet beads right down to her palms. "What? You going to say something?" spat Two, quite amused. "Just give up. You're pathetic, short, awkward, confused." The words stung as they rang, but Em wasn't deterred. She gathered her spirit and amassed her nerve. Just like that, Em too found herself awfully surprised at this new Emily with her firebrand eyes. "So I don't have to listen, I still have a choice." And now Emily spoke with a stern and strong voice. Two staggered aghast, and now spoke not a word. She was shocked and dismayed at the courage she'd heard. "In fact," Emily said, "it seems I forgot all the good things about me and passions I've sought. How I love to plant flowers and never swat bugs. How I always clean up what I spill on the rugs. Or when mother's sad, how I play violin. She adores Ode to Joy. It always makes her grin." And the more Emily spoke, the taller she stood, knowing she was courageous and clever and good. Meanwhile, Two was astonished by Emily's change. Her jaw dropped to the floor, and she felt sick and strange. And to each affirmation that Emily made caused the girl in the mirror to crumble and fade. Without even a murmur, she flickered and fuzzed right on out of existence, and in her place was the reflection of Emily, one and not two, who was happy and proud to be Emily Soo.